my channel. How you doing? It's been a long time. I know I said last time that I wouldn't just go on like a 3-week hiatus without notice, and I really did leave that weekend planning on not going on a 3-week hiatus without any notice. But life happens. Sometimes you don't realize you're taking a 3-week hiatus until you've been so swamped with globalization too that it's been 3 weeks and you've inadvertently taken a 3-week hiatus. But I'm home for this weekend. Vlogs coming, videos coming about that. Me. We'll get to it. But today, I have a review for you. A book review of sorts. It's actually just a book review. There's no like of sorts. So last weekend was Easter and I came home. Going to a Catholic college is nice because they give you like 6 days off. So I came home for a long while. I got to work a little bit, but I also got to see my friends at the bookstore. And I've never met more fiendish people when it comes to buying books than these booksellers, which is their job, I guess, which makes sense. But my friend Glynis, she and I were like, we were working together one day and I was like, I kind of want to impulse buy a book and I'm not supposed to be doing this. And Glynis was like, yeah, me too, but I don't really know what I want to buy. And all day I had been staring at Aru Shah and the End of Time. And Glynis was like, oh my god, I want to read it so bad. I'm like, let's buy them together because this pain hurts less when we do it together. So we both impulse purchased Aru Shah and the End of Time, read it that weekend, like finished it that weekend, and it was so good. So I'm bringing you a review, but we're going to get into that in a minute. First, we're going to continue on. I started this thing and I'm really excited about this idea. So we're going to do tea time with Kayla. So today, my tea's actually gone a little lukewarm. It's been a while. But I'm drinking out of this nice, cute little giraffe mug. And the fun part, I don't know if you guys can see this, but I will upload a video of the inside. But there's a little ceramic giraffe in here. And this mug is really cute because for my creative writing class, we had to write a poetry collection. And there were a couple of poems in there dedicated to my grandmother, Janet, and who passed away about 10 years ago. She was a large light in my life. I loved her so very much and I miss her endlessly. But so my mom had been reading my poetry and then saw this mug at Pier 1 and bought it for me, inspired by that poem, inspired by my grandmother, whose favorite animal was the giraffe. So my grandmother's name was Janet and I've been really wanting to name this giraffe, and I don't know if it's too cliche to name the giraffe Janet the giraffe, but now that it's happened, like, all I can see is Janet the giraffe. So let me know in the comments down below if there's another name. Obviously George is an option, but I feel like that's kind of mainstream. So if you have another giraffe name, let me know in the comments down below, or let me know if you think I should stick with Janet. But today I'm drinking, Christ, I left it downstairs. But basically Disney has a Wonderland tea you can get at Disney World. It's like a brand of tea, but it's inspired by Alice in Wonderland. It's all these different flavors. So I was drinking the French vanilla tea, which was a bit of a flop for me because it smells a lot like French vanilla, but it doesn't really taste like anything. It just kind of tastes like plain black tea. So I'm like wondering what went wrong. Slash, is that just what vanilla tea tastes like? I don't know. But yeah, so the tea is an A, but the mug is a 10 out of 10. Would recommend. Ooh, $8 at Pier 1 Imports if you so desire your own Janet the Giraffe mug. So now let's get into the meat and potatoes of this video, you could say. God, I hate that phrase. Hello. Which is the review of Aru Shah and the End of Time. If you couldn't tell, the flags were back, and I really thought I would get through this whole book without using all of my blue flags. But I went through the book and I used all of my blue flags and my green flags and then had to start on the yellow flags. I tried to make the color scheme of flags match this gorgeous, gorgeous cover. Post it if you're watching this video. Sponsor me. I use your flags all the damn time. I'm running out. Help me. So let's talk about this. So first of all, this is Aru Shah and the End of Time by Roshani Chokshi, and it is under Rick Riordan. And so Rick Riordan is obviously Uncle Rick. He's so cool. And I remember when he came to the bookstore, someone asked him if he was going to be doing like Aztec mythology or Hindu mythology, and he said that he would love to, but he doesn't really understand those mythologies like he does Greek, Roman, and Norse. And so he feels like he would have done the mythologies and those cultures an injustice by writing the books. So he released this project called Rick Riordan Presents, where he got authors from those cultures who understood the mythology really well to write stories in the vein of like Percy Jackson and the Heroes of Olympus series and the Kane Chronicles and things like that, to create kind of these adventures that incorporate those mythologies that he can't write about. So, Roshani Chokshi picked up this one, and she's written a couple other YA series. She's a YA author that's super popular, but she started this quartet. It's called the Pandava Quartet, and so Aru Shah in the End of Time is the first one. Aru Shah is going to be, I believe, the main character throughout all 4 books, but I had really never heard anything of Hindu mythology. So, by the way, this is Hindu mythology. So I had never really known anything about Hindu mythology, so I was really interested to learn about it, and oh my god, this book was so good. It really was so instructional and like educational, and like taught me so much about Hindu mythology that I literally never would have known if I hadn't gone to study it or picked up something like this, but also had such a good adventure aspect to it. So basically it follows this girl, Aru Shah, who kind of lives a difficult life. She was raised by a single mom. She never really understood anything about her dad, but her mom is super ambitious and hardworking and is a professor and runs an Indian culture museum. So she's like traveling a lot to get pieces or going to archaeological digs. So Aru feels a little bit like in the shadows in her mom's world, and she goes to a really pretentious prep school, and all of the kids kind of make fun of her because she doesn't get driven to school in like a Cadillac, and her dad's never around, and so Aru kind of lies to make herself feel like she's one of them and to feel accepted. And that gets her into a bit of trouble as, you know, Aru knows all of the Hindu legends and mythologies and stuff like that, and there's a cursed lamp that if is lit will like release this demon into the world, and she tells her classmates that, and they're like, yeah, we don't believe you. So she lights the lamp. Obviously the demon comes crashing into her world. I'm gonna try and keep this as spoiler free as possible because I almost just let it slip, but I'm not going to. And so she goes on this adventure, and she finds out that she has a soul sister. So she has a soul parent. Her soul father is Indra, the god of thunder. He's not her biological parent, but their souls were made of the same material. Like her soul was an offspring of his, which is different than being a biological father of somebody. But there are these 5 Pandava brothers who are a Hindu like legend that all were descended from the gods via like soul children of the gods, and they come back like every generation or every like couple hundred years and kind of save the world. And like the last time that this happened, that the Pandavas were rewaked, whatever it would have been, was around the time of World War II, and they failed to save the world, and that's why World War II happened. So what's interesting is that there has never been a female set of Pandava brothers, but in this generation they're all girls who are going to kick ass and save the world, which is so awesome. So this is about Aru going on an adventure with her first sister, Pandava sister, soul sister, Minnie, and they go through the underworld. They're led by a pigeon named Boo, who was formerly like a really important king in Hindu mythology, and they go on this adventure to stop the Sleeper, who is the demon, from kind of destroying the world. So they go on this adventure to stop the Sleeper from ending the Pandava brothers and preventing them from coming back in future generations and saving the world. So pretty important mission, I would say. But so the adventure is really well paced. You like everything is very one after another. They have, I think, 10 days to save the world, or like a week or something like that, and it's very, very well done. Like one adventure or like one little climax, you know, stops and another one begins like almost immediately, so you keep going, you really want to know what's going to happen. They have like 3 tasks that they have to complete in order to stop the sleeper, and it kind of all culminates in this huge battle at the end. It's a really, really lush world. Everything's described so beautifully. Like, I just wanted to walk through these other worlds that they were going to. Even like the Kingdom of Death was described really, really well and like descriptively, and I was like, I want to do this. So yeah, it was a really, really great book to read because I just kind of fell into the world and so in love with the mythology that like the 7-headed horse of Indra, like I wanted to know what that looked like. Like this could be made into such a beautiful movie, but it was so good to read. I'm trying to think if there were any like complaints that I had. Nope, I'm not coming up with anything. I really, really liked this, and I can't wait for the second one, which is The Song of Death, and it comes out in April of 2019, so I have to wait a whole other year for that. And I kind of just like, I fell into it with a Percy Jackson book, and it was super awesome. Coming to tell you that I have like a couple more things to say that I couldn't quite articulate during filming my review of Aru Shah. I have been sitting and working, and I did all my schoolwork, so now I'm editing for the week, and there were a couple more things that I thought of that I just couldn't really articulate during my review of Aru Shah that I think are important and that I really liked. For example, I really liked the magic system, the way the magical objects were kind of incorporated throughout and how they changed and helped the girls and how they came to reveal themselves to the girls. So the girls had to kind of earn the power of the magical objects and the complete challenges in order to receive that magic. So it wasn't just like given to them, they had to earn it, which I thought was really cool. I also thought it was all really well interwoven. Like throughout the book, characters would give them like what would be a seemingly simple gift and that you would kind of forget about, and then like 6 chapters later they would come up to a situation they would need that simple gift. So everything was tied together super duper well, and all really flowed together to create a really well-rounded piece. I really, really enjoyed Aru Shah. Hey bookworms, what is up? It is Kayla from the future, prior to when this video was originally filmed, but will be the past when I upload this, if that makes sense. I am here with another update for this review. As I'm thinking about it and like editing and just like thinking about Aru Shah and the End of Time, I'm realizing that I left so many things out that I didn't think of when I originally sat down to do the review. But what I wanted to talk about was just like the inclusivity and like the positive messaging throughout that I think is really important for like young people and kids and stuff. And I think I mentioned this like very briefly in the main review, but like I was thinking about it and I remember there being like some sort of line where like Aru's talking about Hindu mythology and the Hindu gods, and she is saying like that like yes, her gods and like her mythology does exist, but that doesn't mean other people's doesn't. How there's like room in like the heavens and the other worlds for everyone's god, whoever, like the different gods that all people believe in, that there's not just one, that there can be other religions and mythologies, and just recognizing like the differences in people and accepting that. And I think that's really, really positive and powerful because they're they're like talking about something that's I think really important for young people to know, that like yes, you can have your religion and accept that, but that doesn't mean that yours is the only one that exists, and just to be accepting of other people's beliefs. I think that's something that especially nowadays where excuse my snack cabinet by the way, something nowadays that we're seeing more and more, and that we're trying to teach just tolerance and acceptance, and I think that's a really, really powerful message. And it comes up a couple times throughout the book, and it was really, really nice to see. So yeah, that was my other thought. I don't know where in the video I'm going to put this in, but I think it was phenomenal and really well done, and I think all of the actual information about Hindu mythology and Hinduism and Indian culture were so well incorporated and so interesting that I think that any kid that picked up Percy Jackson and didn't know anything about Hindu mythology would walk away knowing things and have a newfound interest for a different culture. And I think that's really, really significant and important, and I don't think you can stress the value of that enough. So Roshani Chokshi did an amazing job, and I highly recommend this book, whether you're middle grade or adult, whatever you are. I think anyone can enjoy this and kind of appreciate its value. I think it's such a good story. I think it has a lot of important themes, like being honest with yourself and taking responsibility for your actions and being a good person and feminine empowerment and all sorts of things, and tolerance and being kind and fighting for what you believe in and for the people that you care about. I think it is such a good book, and I recommend it to literally everyone. I just wanted to check in because I know I was really out of it on Sunday on the aftershocks of the poetry event, that I could not really process thoughts about Aru Shah, and I don't think I said everything that I meant to, but I did say something that I will stand by, that I don't think I have the words to do Roshani Chokshi's Aru Shah in the End of Time justice that it deserves. It's just such a phenomenal book that I feel like I'm doing it an injustice by trying to talk about it, because I can't. There are so many things to talk about that I try and articulate them, and it just doesn't even sound half as good as it actually is. So you have to read the book to understand what I'm saying and understand how wonderful it is. So if you haven't already, go find yourself a copy of Aru Shah in the End of Time. Get it from your library. Get it from your local indie. Don't buy it on Amazon. Okay, if you really, really need it, you need to get it on Amazon. Get it on Amazon. Buy an audiobook. Do something. Go watch it, read it, listen to it, and let me know what you thought. Oh, one difference that this has from Percy Jackson and the Kane Chronicles, which I guess would be just because it's a different mythology, is that their godly parent isn't as involved in their lives. They're not directly descended from these gods in the biological sense. It's in the soul sense. So the gods claimed Minnie and Aru, but didn't really show up as much in the book. So I'm hoping that happens, and we just get to see a little bit more of the gods that we're learning about in future books. I really don't have any complaints with this book. I don't think there's anything that was I don't like this very much. I feel the representation was really good. There were a lot of funny jokes, and it was really witty, and there was a lot of references that if you're older you get and you laugh at, but if you're younger they'd still be what, but they wouldn't really think too much of it. It's kind of how a younger person would think, looking at an adult world. So it's really funny, I think, and I think if younger kids read it and then went back and read it when they were older, they'd be oh my god, I can't believe I didn't get that. So it was super well done. The cover is beautiful. The writing was stellar. I gave it a 5-star review, and this is for sure. I gave it 5 stars on Goodreads, and this is 5 of my little book stack emojis for sure. This was so well done, and I literally just ate it up. I've been in a reading slump for such a long time, and this really got me out of that reading slump. So I am very grateful to Roshani Chokshi. This is so good, and I highly recommend it. It's a middle grade, and I don't mind reading middle grade, but some people are me, I'm older than this. Well, it's a very good book, and it taught me a lot about Hindu mythology, and I'm really interested to learn more. So I'm really excited for April 2019. It can't come fast enough, so I can get the second one. If I get an arc, I would die. The arc gods responded to me, and I got City of Bastards, so maybe the arc gods will respond to me again and give me Aru Shah and the Song of Death. So this is my review of Aru Shah and the End of Time. I'm really out of it today, and I cannot keep a straight thought, but this is such a good book. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. If you have read it or are going to read it or want to read it, let me know your thoughts down below. If you have like questions, I can answer them because I've read the book and I loved it. Literally every bookseller and every person that I've talked to that has read this book has said that it was phenomenal. We actually, while Glynis and I were deciding whether or not we were going to buy it, we went through the Goodreads 1-star reviews. People that actually left comments on it and why it was a 1-star. Read for them, and like I was reading them and I remember like this one guy left a really lengthy review and he said all of these things, and I was reading this book and I was like, this is just not true. Like, what? Like, you didn't, I don't think we read the same book because I'm not seeing any of these issues that you're having. But each is entitled to their own opinion. But if you have questions, I'd be happy to answer them in the comments down below. I just think I love this book so much that I don't really think I can articulate how good it was. Like, I think the words that I have don't do this book justice. So definitely go read it. I'd love to make it a staff rec at the bookstore. Go pick up a copy, go read it, let me know what you think. Let me know if you're excited about it. If, like, I've always loved Rick Riordan, and I think if you loved his books, you'll love this one just as much. I think it flows kind of seamlessly into the scheme that he set up. So I highly recommend this book. Definitely go read it. Yeah, so that is it for this review of Aru Shah and the End of Time. I keep wanting to say Aru Shah and the Dawn of Time, but that's not right. End of Time. Much more serious. So definitely make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and leave me some comments down below. Let me know what your thoughts are, if you have questions, anything you want to know, what you're reading. I want to know it all. And make sure to subscribe to this channel to get updates every time we update a video. Me, upload a video. They're going to be much more regular as the semester kind of trickles down and I get more time to read, which is always a good thing. And this summer is just going to be wild. I have so many things planned. So make sure you are subscribed so you can catch all of that. And make sure to follow me on social media. I'm on Twitter, Tumblr, Instagram, Pinterest, and Goodreads as RoyReadingCo. I have a new logo, which I'm going to flash here for you, which is now like my logo profile picture for everything. That's how you go find me. Yeah, I think that's everything. Okay, happy reading. I'll see you next time.